Hello, I'm Oliver Colling, and this is the My 70s TV Childhood quiz. Hello, and welcome back once again to the podcast world's favourite quiz based on the award-shortlisted podcast My 70s TV Childhood. Just because it's the only one based on the podcast doesn't make a difference, as I know how much you all enjoy playing along at home, either on your own or with family and friends. I've got a couple of listeners to mention before we get on to this time's quiz. Firstly, I had a note from Dawn from rural Cyprus. Dawn runs a fascinating YouTube channel called New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus, and is also a long-standing listener to our podcast. Dawn asked whether it would be possible to play a bit of the themes featured in our Name That Tune round when we give the answers. Well, Dawn, that's an incredibly sensible suggestion, so from now on we will do that, and hopefully that will help avoid any confusion. I'd also encourage all of you to take a look at Dawn's YouTube channel and see what it's like living off-grid in a deserted Cypriot village. Also, thanks to Russell, one of our greatest supporters, for pointing out an error in last time's quiz, where one of the answers was not quite right. For some reason, I said that the character in It Ain't Half Hot Mum, who was writing home in the first episode, using the phrase, was Gunnar Parkinson. Of course, his name wasn't Parkinson, it was Gunnar Parkin. So I'm not sure where Parkinson came from. Perhaps I was thinking of the great Sir Michael instead. But thanks, Russell, for putting me right. If you've any comments or corrections or suggestions for the quiz, then drop me a line to quiz@my70stvchildhood.com. All right, on to this week's quiz. It's the usual format, 20 questions over 4 rounds with a point for each correct answer. So grab a pen and paper and settle down with your favourite beverage and get ready to play. This week, I'm sipping at a Pina Colada made with fresh coconut milk. Well, no, I'm not really. I've just got a cup of tea as usual. Okay, well, let's play round 1, which is a new round called Born on the 4th of July. And as this episode is due to be released soon after American Independence Day, I'm going to ask you about 5 actors or actresses who were born on the 4th of July. And what I need you to tell me is what year they were born in. Let's get started. Question 1. Angela Badley, who was Mrs. Bridges in Upstairs Downstairs, old Mr. Hudson. She was born on the 4th of July, but which year? Question 2. Duncan Lamont, the Scottish saxophonist, whose most famous accomplishment was composing the theme tune to Mr. Ben. He was born on the 4th of July, but again, which year? Question 3. Colin Welland, from Z Cars and well-known British character actor who popped up in all kinds of different programmes before becoming the producer who was behind Chariots of Fire. What year was Colin born in? Question 4. David Kid Jensen, the Radio 1 DJ and Top of the Pops host. He was born on the 4th of July. But what year was David Kid Jensen born? And finally, question 5. Ed Bernard, who played Styles in Policewoman with Angie Dickinson. He was born on the 4th of July. But again, what year was he born in? Bit tricky, that one, I think. So let's go on to round 2. And this is our marathon or Fil Rouge round, where I ask you questions based on subjects that we've covered in our previous podcasts. Now, if you haven't listened to them all, and I don't blame you if you haven't, given we've now recorded over 100 episodes, then don't worry, you should be able to have a guess at most of the questions. Question 1. Following our recent episode on Bod, several listeners have got in touch and told us they hadn't realised who was behind the musical accompaniments to each character. Well, who was it? Question 2. In March 2022, we looked back at Hong Kong Phooey and the cartoon version of the Harlem Globetrotters. What was the connection between the two shows? So what was the big connection between Hong Kong Phooey and the cartoon version of the Harlem Globetrotters, other than the fact they were both made by Hanna-Barbera? Question 3. Who was the main host of the TV show How, which we covered in July 2023? Question 4. In April 2022, we published an episode called Soap Suds, which looked at Coronation Street and Crossroads in the 1970s. Which part did Paul Henry memorably play in Crossroads? So which character did Paul Henry play in Crossroads? And question 5. In August 2023, we look back on the career of Michael Parkinson. Not Parkin, but Parkinson this time. Which actress did he infamously interview and seemed to suggest that her physical attributes were what had brought her success rather than her acting talents? How are you doing? Halfway through already. So on to round 3. And this is our Name That Tune round, where we'll use our specially constructed Wheel of Fate to choose a year from the 1970s, which I will then input into our AI-powered theme tune generator, which will select 5 signature tunes of TV shows first screened in the UK in that year. All clear? I'm sure it will be. So let's spin the wheel. And it's landed on 1977. Okay, I'll plug that into the AI generator. And in a special twist, I've also asked the AI generator to only pick US TV shows that were first shown in the UK in this year. Right. Let's go on to theme tune 1. Now that one might be quite easy, you may think, but to get the point, I need the exact title of the show. On to theme 2. And now theme 3.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little girls who went to the police academy. And they were each assigned very hazardous duties. But I took them away from all that, and now they work for me. My name is Charlie.
That's the easiest of the round, I think, so hopefully no one's got that wrong. Let's go on to theme tune 4.
fascinating sphere of police work, the world of forensic medicine.
Love that one. And finally, theme tune 5.
Flashing through the sky, he's a go-go guy. Stronger than a train with a so-so brain.
You talking about me, Blue Falcon? Gosh.
He's fearless, scareless, a little too careless. Dynamite! He's a go-go dog person.
That's me, dog. Wonder.
He's fearless, careless, a little too careless. Dynamite! He's a go-go dog person.
That's me, dog. Wonder.
Now here's a clue. That show is related to another show whose theme we played, but again, to get the point, I need the exact title of the programme. So we're on to our last round already. And this is our general trivia round called TV Times. Question 1. Who played Edward VII in the 13-part ATV show of the same name, first shown in 1975? Question 2. In Hergé's Adventures of Tintin, or should that be Hergé's Adventures of Tintin? What was the name of Tintin's dog? Question 3. In Happy Ever After, the suburban sitcom starring Terry Scott and June Whitfield as a married couple, what was their surname? So what was the surname of Terry and June's couple in Happy Ever After? Question 4. What was the name of the women's prison featured in the ITV drama Within These Walls? And finally, question 5. What was the name of the rather depressing, in my opinion, summer Saturday night show featuring a variety of light entertainment performances in a circus big top at different British seaside resorts? It ran from 1975 to 1979, although I'm not quite sure how it lasted quite so long. And that's it for another quiz. Now, whilst you're thinking about the answers, let me give you the answer to last time's bonus question. The Feathered Serpent, shown on ITV between 1976 and 1978, had a reputation as one of the most bloodthirsty, violent children's programmes ever shown on television. But where was it set? And the answer was, well, it was set in ancient Mexico and featured all sorts of ancient Aztec malarkey, involving sun gods, human sacrifices, and lots of blood. Well done if you got that right. This week's question is inspired by current affairs. We've just had a general election here in the UK. David Dimbleby hosted the BBC's coverage for the first time in 1979, but who hosted it before him for the 2 elections of 1974? If you know the answer, then let me know by writing to quiz@my70stvchildhood.com, and we'll have the answer for you in the next quiz. Okay, let's move on to this week's answers. Round 1, born on the 4th of July. Angela Badley, Mrs. Bridges, was born in 1904. Wow. Question 2, Duncan Lamont, who composed the theme tune to Mr. Ben, was born in 1931. Colin Welland was born in 1934. Question 4, David Kid Jensen was born on the 4th of July 1950. And I think this is the most difficult one. Ed Bernard, Styles and Policewoman, was born on the 4th of July 1939. So well done if you got that. All right, let's move on to the Fil Rouge. Following our recent episode on Bod, several listeners hadn't told us who was behind the musical accompaniments for each character. Who was it? It was the great Derek Griffiths. Question 2, what was the connection between Hong Kong Phooey and the cartoon version of the Harlem Globetrotters? Well, Scatman Crothers, who was a famous jazz singer, was the voice of Hong Kong Phooey, aka Penry the mild-mannered janitor, and he was also the voice of Meadowlark Lemon in the Harlem Globetrotters. So quite an interesting connection there, so very well done if you got that one. Question 3. Who's the main host of the TV show How? Wow. It was Fred Dinenage. Question 4. Which part did Paul Henry memorably play in Crossroads? Well, I think most of you may know this. It's Benny Hawkins. And if you just say Benny, you can have that. Question 5. Which actress did Michael Parkinson infamously interview and seem to suggest her physical attributes was a broad success? That was Helen Mirren. Okay, on to our Name That Tune round. Theme Tune 1. Now, you've got to be careful. You've got to get the right answer for this because it was the Scooby-Doo Show. So if you just say Scooby-Doo, that's not good enough. It is the Scooby-Doo Show, which was a new series first shown in 1977. Question 2. That's the theme tune to Roots, Alex Haley's marvellous books adapted for television. Theme tune 3.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little girls who went to the...
And I say that was probably the most easy of the lot. That was Charlie's Angels. Theme tune 4. Yes, that's Quincy M.E. And theme tune 5.
Through the sky, he's a go-go guy.
That's a slightly funny one. That was, if you remember this one, Dynamut Dog Wonder. So the title was Dynamut Dog... I can't even say it. Dynamut Dog Wonder. So if you got that exactly right, then well done. All right, on to our round 4. TV times. Question 1. Who played Edward VII in the 13-part ATV show of the same name? And that was Timothy West. In Hergé's Adventures with Tintin, what was the name of Tintin's dog? Snowy, of course. Question 3. What was the surname of Terry and June's couple in Happy Ever After? They were Terry and June Fletcher. Question 4. What was the name of the women's prison featured in the TV drama Within These Walls? And that was Her Majesty's Prison, Stone Park. And finally, question 5. What was the name of the, as in my opinion, slightly depressing summer Saturday night show? Featuring light entertainment in a circus big top in different seaside resorts? That was Seaside Special. So how have you got on? Are you sitting on a large majority, or have you lost your deposit? Whichever way, I hope you've enjoyed this time's quiz. Join us again next week for our next podcast and in a fortnight for our next quiz. In the meantime, take care, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon for more from My 70s TV Childhood and the My 70s TV Childhood Quiz.